Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my final 2024 prediction for Biden week. Tomorrow we'll be beginning Kamala Harris and Ron DeSantis split up week. We're going to do 3 days of Kamala Harris, and 4 days of Ron DeSantis. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be Harris, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday will all be videos oriented towards DeSantis. But we're going to be closing out Joe Biden's week with an election prediction between him and Jim Jordan. Jim Jordan, a very notable conservative in the House of Representatives. Very pro-Trump, and he is definitely prominent in the Republican Party should Trump decide not to run for re-election, although I'm pretty confident he will. I do think that Jim Jordan could be a possible successor to him in the Republican Party, depending on how that primary goes. Actually, before I begin this prediction, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting so very close to 450 subscribers, and then on to 500, 5 away from 450, and 55 away from 500. If we could hit 500 by the end of March, that would be awesome. So if you have not subscribed and you're watching this video, please go ahead and subscribe or share it with a friend and tell them to subscribe and watch the video. Anyway, let's get right into this prediction, starting with safe Biden states. At the moment, Biden is doing incredibly poorly across the nation. So I do not believe I'm not going to be characterizing Oregon as a safe Democrat state, or Connecticut, New Jersey. I'll characterize Delaware being his home state. But just look at the polls. There was a Hill poll out today. The Hill had a poll out today that had 62% of Americans said that they believe that Vladimir Putin would not have invaded Ukraine if Donald Trump was president of the United States. That's a clear majority. The margin of error is usually 3 points. That's not even, that's a clear majority. Either way you look at that. And that's very bad news for Joe Biden. That means that the American people do not view Joe Biden, or, this is the way I'm looking at the poll, they don't view Joe Biden as a strong leader across the world. I mean, we saw what happened in Afghanistan, and now we're seeing what's happening in Ukraine, and now a lot of other people are worrying about what could happen in Taiwan. Will China invade Taiwan? Literally today, there were reports that Kim Jong-un North Korea did another ballistic missile test off the coast of North Korea. People are concerned that Iran may develop a nuclear weapon. So there is a lot of issues, even foreign policy. You just leave alone domestic policy that Joe Biden is stagnating on and looking incredibly poorly on and incredibly weak on. And Ukraine is just another example of that. And you look at the poll from the Hill. 62% of Americans believe it wouldn't have happened if Trump was president. That is incredibly damning for Joe Biden. Let's get into our likely Biden states. I'm going to include Oregon. I'm still going to include Colorado as a likely Biden state. I think it could go still 6 to 7 points, but it will narrow up significantly. Connecticut, New Jersey, and Maine's first will all be likely states for Joe Biden. That's the 5 to 15 margin. Minnesota will not. That will narrow up as well with Jim Jordan as the president. Jim Jordan, I think he's somewhat strong for Republican. I think he's actually pretty good. Out of all the Republican candidates, I do think that he would be pretty good for the Republicans in nominating. He's pretty good at debating. He's pretty quick on his feet, and he's pretty charismatic as well. And he could drive up a crowd. Now let's go to likely Georgia states. This would be Iowa, Ohio, Texas, Florida. 5 to 6 points victory. At this point, yes. Look at those polls that we just saw out of Florida with Ron DeSantis, where he's up over 20 points against Charlie Crist, who was the former governor of Florida. I believe he lost to Rick Scott. I'm not even sure what happened. And Nikki Fried, the agricultural commissioner. 20 points against those people. That's insane. That's remarkable. I mean, does that show that Florida has shifted significantly to the right? I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's definitely shifted to the right. Rubio up 12 against Val Demings. If those polls are even close to accurate, and they're probably... at least the one with Rubio up 12, Rubio could win by 15 points, come 2022, come November. If those are accurate, that Florida is likely to safe, at least for 2022. I'll put it in the likely category for now, but very, very bad news for Joe Biden in Florida. People are calling that the DeSantis effect. 219, 291, Jim Jordan in the lead at the moment in the Electoral College. Lean Joe Biden races. I think that Minnesota would still manage to lean for Joe Biden. I think that New Hampshire and Maine's at-large district would lean for Joe Biden, as well as the state of New Mexico. I think that he'd still be able to lean that in his favor, although with Hispanic shifts, that could fall to 2 to 3 points victory for Joe Biden. I think New Mexico, you will see a drastic shift in 2024. We're seeing that across the country among Hispanic support of Joe Biden. 66% of Hispanics disapprove of the job of Joe Biden, Joe Biden's job, handling his job as president of the United States. And you will see that effect in the general election and state elections. That's without doubt. Lean Jim Jordan states. This will be North Carolina. This will be Arizona. This will be Nevada. Still with those Hispanics, although New Mexico is a more Democrat state. He'll win Wisconsin. He'll win Pennsylvania by a lean margin. That gives him the victory already. So that gets him to 281 electoral votes. Big wins for Jim Jordan in those regions. When we get into our tilt states, there is going to be, I'm going to tilt Nebraska second in Joe Biden's favor. I think, he could still win there by a tilt margin, and he could still win Virginia by a tilt margin. However, I'm going to be tilting Georgia and Michigan in favor of Jim Jordan. He would win that Rust Belt back. Michigan, it only went to Joe Biden by 2.5 points. That could definitely shift back to the Republicans, and it is already shifting. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens in Gretchen Whitmer's election in Michigan. I think that's going to be a huge telltale for how Republicans and how a Republican nominee, Trump or otherwise, would do in that state. I will tilt it in favor of Jordan just because I can't, judge it based off of those results. I'm going to be judging it based off of polling data, approval of Biden, and conditions, and charisma of the candidates, of course. So 312, 226. Jim Jordan wins a pretty handily election against Joe Biden. Virginia comes within tilt margin. I think that Virginia will mirror up as well. I think that Glenn Youngkin actually could help shift that state to the right, and that would be very beneficial for Republicans across the country. So really, at this moment, Joe Biden is in a very, very vulnerable spot as president. The bench at the moment for the Democrats looks very weak. I'm just going to be completely honest. Kamala Harris is not a good candidate. Pete Buttigieg really isn't the best candidate either. Bernie is he's not good. I mean, he's better than, I guess, the other ones, but he's not too good. Liz Warren, not too good. They really have a weak bench at the moment. And Republicans have a so-so, average bench. And at the moment, the Democrats have the trifecta, so it's going to be completely against them. So 312, 226, Republicans doing very well across the board. Jim Jordan would win this election, becoming 47th president of the United States. Anyway, with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting so close to 500 subscribers. I can't wait to grow this channel. Over the years, I have no intentions of stopping making videos, so go ahead and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Like the video below. Have a great day.